started for PTRU, and we're going to start looking at P2. So welcome to that. We'll do, as usual, we'll go through it theoretically with the plan, and then we'll watch it happen in real time with a VOD with our friends from Echoes. But anyway, imagine that the boss is here on the right side, so we will actually land on this front left quadrant when we get there. So boss is over here, the big boy, throwing rocks at us and stuff. So you don't need to memorize like these quadrant names. That's not that important. Here are the grip assignments. So boss should be like here-ish between the first and the second add. Tank guys, making sure that we get the cleave onto this add. Very easy to kill this one, but we don't do that. On Mythic, we kill only the innermost adds. So grip assignments are as follows. Maza will get the farthest corner one, and then the one from where we are going. We're going to actually, you see these numbers here, we're actually proceeding in the quadrants. We're going to go from 1 to 2, from 2 to 3, and then 3 to 4. So we'll make this kind of like U shape, will be the idea. So Halt will be gripping from the one that we're not going to, and Maza will be gripping the one that we are going to, and then the corner. And then War's got the little easy one. War and I were talking about it, Maza, and War thinks that he might have the capacity, since he is doing this easy one, to alley-oop and help with this one, if you only get it so far, and he can like help fine-tune it if necessary.
I think I could reach it. I think I could reach from where the ad is. I think I could reach 3.
Yeah, ideally you're right here at the back, and we're gripping it basically
Like,
onto.
where do you want it? Right there, right? Like to
Yeah,
that spot?
yeah,
Okay. Yeah, I definitely reach from there.
that'd be ideal. Okay, cool. Then that's easy. So yeah, all DKs can kind of note that you want to be right next to this ad, because this is the one that you want to make sure gets cleaved. So you want to be doing that. So once we get the ads gripped in, we do have CCs assigned. So Vex, you're going to be first stun, and then Spoomy second. We have a weak aura setup that's very similar. You'll recognize it to Araz. They just use the same one from Araz, but it'll just be a set of 2 instead of 4 CCs per set of ads. So yeah, start killing this one. Now, Dota and Kalidai, I don't know if you've seen from VODs or anything, you want to be locked in on this one. You don't care about this. You can, like, what I think they do is they havoc this guy, Artosian, and then they'll just single send spells into this guy. Because the more work you can get done on this ahead of time is going to really help us get there for when the wins come up. So this is your focus. From as soon as the ad spawn, this guy is your target and your focus. Cool. Sounds like you're familiar with that. Everybody else will be cleaving this down and killing this one so that we can move through. The rock is not something, luckily for all of us, thank goodness, is not something that I need to watch the boss to see which arm he lifts. It's actually baited into the quadrant that we're in, which means that you need to wait for the bait to happen. So we need to all be in this quadrant waiting, and then we can move across to the next quadrant as soon as the rock is baited. On Bigwigs, the timer or countdown for that is called fragment. As soon as fragment hits 0, then we can move across.
Do we know if the bait is center mass or random player?
Random player, so you cannot go early. You need to, everybody needs to wait. This is just basically true of like all the movement in these phases on the platform, is just stick together and move exactly together. Okay, so that's the CC. These are the ads that we're killing. These beams, right, go out in this direction. It's a tank, like the current active tank, and then 3 random players will get those beams. You just want to beam here, and then it will slow you a little bit, knock you back, do a little bit of damage, and then you want to come around this way so that you are ready to run through as soon as we need to. I'll come off of those puddles. Okay, so then we run here, and then here is the mythic mechanic. So things to know about the mythic mechanic. So it does 3 medium circles on somewhat random players. However, those random players are going to be 1 melee player, 1 healer, and 1 ranged player. I will always pick one of those every time. Tank's considered to be melee in this particular case. And this is where we will put them for the first drops. This was what we'll call our line formation along the side. So if you are a melee player, you will always put it here. If you are a healer player, you will always put it here. And range player will always put it here on this side. You kind of have to flip it in your mind. So you imagine like you're running down this way. So you would actually, if you're a range player, you'd actually put that on the left, healer right down the middle, and melee on the right, aligned with the third ad. Now, everybody, these players will, if nobody is in the soak with them, they will die. However, if somebody soaks with them, then they live. But everybody else has an inverse gravity. So these medium circles are called crushing gravity, and then there's like I don't know, it's like a lifting gravity or whatever, but they're smaller circles that everybody else will get. And so you will put them in this configuration every time. This is kind of your default position. Now this, if you take nothing else away from this PTRU and our time tonight, this is what you need to take away. You need to know exactly what your position is relative to the ad. So we can save a ton of time and a ton of pulls if you know exactly where this is and you hit your spot pretty much every time. Now, this is considering that so everybody has a spot, like even if you don't have the medium circle crushing gravity. And notice that there are people assigned to the middle of the circle. So Buckus, Mink, and Dirt, you guys are assigned to the middle. It's okay to be in the middle on top of that person, but you cannot be on top of any other person ever. If you do, you'll ping pong each other and knock each other off the platform. So you have to be in this circle, but you cannot be on top of anybody else except for the person that's right in the middle of the circle. So this is what you're gonna. Yeah,
If
go
I
ahead.
have a medium circle, Dirt's just gonna stand on top of me then? That's okay?
Exactly. Yep. You'll always put yours in the melee one. Yeah, right here, Vex. And yeah, Dirt will always go here, no matter what.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Did you put people who could actually get back on the platform on the edges and potentially? They get knocked.
Yeah, I mean, these are all like mobile people that can do that.
You get knocked up there, right?
But you don't get knocked at all if you do this right. If you do it properly, you don't get knocked. It just does a little bit of damage.
So I always middle even if I don't have the big circle, no matter what. That's
Exactly. Yep.
Okay.
You will always run to the exact same spot. Doesn't matter. You don't
And
care
if you have the big
the
circle,
or
do you
not.
go middle or do you go to your spot?
If
go
you have the
middle.
big circle, you go middle. Yep. You place it.
Okay,
You
cool.
place it in the
Done.
spot. So
Because the big circle's supposed to hit everyone.
Yeah, everybody that's assigned in your circle. Yep.
And so if you go to your, like if Vex goes to where he's assigned with the big circle, then he's going to miss War and Cha DK and maybe Maza, and then that would be bad.
Yep, exactly. So
And if he goes where Maza is, if Maza doesn't go to the middle, then Maza will hit Spoomy and Muck, and then Muck and Spoomy will die.
Yep.
Because they'll get two. They'll get Minx and Mazas.
There'll be overlap. Yeah, too much overlap there.
So you always got to go to the middle with the big one.
Yep, and it's pretty tight. There's not much room here, and the people that are placing the medium circles, like you could easily like place it off the edge, right? If you run all the way to the edge, you want to keep as much of the circle on the platform as you can, so there's like more playable space. So yeah, there's a little bit to do there, but it's not too bad of a mechanic because you're actually eliminating one person from every one of these circles, right? Every time, so you can kind of spread out, but it's important that we all have a spot that we just hit every time.
So Avalard and I, if we have the big circle, we're dropping it for melee, and if we don't have a big circle, we're in the healer one.
Yep, and thank you for mentioning that because that's where I wanted to go next. Is Avalard and Spoomy actually have the hardest of all of us because they they actually change which circle they go to based on whether or not they're assigned. Now, in general, right, the odds are is that you're going to go to this assigned spot here, Spoomy and Avalard. But, you know, if you happen to get picked for the, you know, you're one of the melee that gets picked for the medium circle or the crushing, you will go to the dirt spot and put it there in the melee one. So you're just
And
assigned.
then one
feel
less
crowded
person
when
in
that
the healer
happens.
one at that. Like if that happens, one less person in the healer one's not going to kill anybody.
No, yeah, it'll be fine. It will
And we're
be
not going
fine.
to be too crowded with all 7 in there.
Nope.
Because the middle guy
Everybody,
won't hit
everybody
anybody
has
else,
an
right?
assigned spot here. Yep.
So how much time do we have to like make that decision, like me and Avalard?
Not much. When we're running
Okay.
across, it's very quick. But when we're running across here, like we're blowing this up, and as soon as we bait the fragment, you have like 5 seconds to get over to the line spot and then place yourself correctly. So you need to know where you're going and head there instantly, basically. There's not much time. So cool. So that, and this, the reason why you want to download this slide into your memory, and I put it in next boss discussion as well, is that this mechanic persists. So we probably won't do it again on this platform, but we'll do it twice in a little bit of a different configuration on platform 2, and then we'll do it 2 or 3 times again in phase 3. So these assignments are like critical for the rest of the fight. So big value. The more that we can hit this and do this right and get comfortable with this, that's like a big part of the fight. That's a big majority of it. So very, very important. Cannot emphasize that enough. Cool. So that's the way that goes. Then, so this is kind of Ohio for this platform. So almost immediately, right, we have to go and do these spreads very quickly, run across, and then almost immediately after we do these spreads, he does these lines into wins. And there's no time in between all of this. Now, what you're going to see in the video is actually them putting those lines over like this direction. So they're like shooting them over here, but I actually have it planned to put it here. And the reason is that the winds are going to be coming from this direction, pushing us this way. So you actually want to put the lines so that you are in line with this gap, right? That we created with the warlocks did a great job for us and lowered it. And then we just finish it off. Because right after these lines hit is when the winds start pushing. So if you're over here, you have like exactly 0 time to get in line, and if you touch one of these ads, you're probably dead. It puts a nasty long hard ticking dot on you, so you probably don't survive the phase if you touch an ad. So it's actually safer to do this line configuration for the people that have the lines. So I hope that makes sense. It feels a little awkward because you're using all of the quadrant, but we don't need all of the quadrant for this. This is fine. This is enough room for the raid to be right here.
That's randomly assigned, right? You just have those 3 people as an example.
Yep. Yeah. It's random. I just put
Okay,
dirt.
so should the people in Calthea's spot be popping a personal because they can be pushed back into the puddles that the other 2 drop?
A bit, yeah. I mean, ideally, you pop a personal whenever you have the lines because I think it's 6 to 8 million damage or something like that, unmitigated. So it hits relatively hard, and then you'll be going through puddles this way. But I mean, Thea obviously could blink in this case, but it's definitely advised to use something there. Good question. Nice. So that's the way that goes. So just imagine that. We'll see that in a second here, but it goes really quick from like the grips to killing this ad. Then we run across, we do this, and then we do that, and then we get pushed. It happens very quickly, back to back. So knowing like what the game plan is beforehand and having a little bit of it in your head is going to help us be successful a lot faster. Okay, so it pushes us into
Quick
this.
question.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
So, maybe this is just because I don't really know what other classes have, but if Maza is down there and we all have 0 time to get over there, Maza, how do you get over to where you're supposed to be for
Yes,
the
depths
pushback?
advance.
Dust advance. Okay, so
I just walk places.
He
Eat
doesn't care
beats.
about knockbacks, and he also
Okay.
doesn't even care about the ad damage. So There's many
So he's
things.
just a beast. Got it.
He could screw this all up and live. Like he's chilling. Unfortunately, I'd love to
Awesome.
put him under some pressure, but yeah.
Does Mazda always get that one of those beams?
The current tank, yeah, we'll always get one, and then it'll be three different ones. Cool. Good questions. So then it will push us. So we'll do this line formation. It'll push us into this quadrant. It on a good pull, it should die really close to here, actually. But I do have a plan for everything else. But basically, it would just repeat, right? So we made it halfway through the phase. We would do grips, beams. So this looks very familiar to the first part, right? And everybody's assigned to the same ones. All of my assignments are relative to where the ad is, right? It's not like, fixed on the platform or anything like that. So Mazda still does the cross corner and then where we're going. Cha will go from where we came from or where we're not going, and War the close one. On this one, we don't, it's about 28 seconds apart, so we won't have Vexes or swap or Vexes or Spoomies stuns. So I'm going to need you to take Shockwave, so it'll be a Buckus cap on these ads into Yerp Shockwave.
I also take double cap as the shaman play, so it'll
Okay.
stun twice.
Okay, so
But
yeah,
they all hit.
and they probably die in Buckus's cap, but it's worth it to just have the backup and just in case whatever nonsense happens. Cool. And
Is
then
there a reason we're doing the Nova before the leg sweep? Because it's like less
No,
long, right?
I don't know. I think
doesn't
they
matter.
die in
It's
the
just to
Nova
stop them.
anyway, but yeah, it's just
Okay.
to get a quick stop on them. To be honest with you, this is just what Consequence did with their stuns, and so I'm just like, I'm not overthinking it. I'm just borrowing from them. But yeah, I see your point. And we could switch it up if you guys find that it's a problem and you want to. We can change it. Okay, so winds pushes here, we do the grips, we kill that guy again, and then we would gate through. However, by the way, like it should be dead at this point, but we'll if we have like players dead and we're just limping, we'll want to continue to do the fragments. So we'll do the fragment bait, we'll gate, and then we'll do a triangle formation for this. Now for this one, it's the same basically, except for since there's no room here for the ranged on the outside, right? It's the melee close to the ad inside, then the healer's right next to it. No room for the range, so the ranged actually goes far and puts this one on the point. But it's the same configuration as far as like where your assigned seats are for it. And this is important because we actually do this configuration in P3 quite a lot. And we will need to do this one we'll need to do this configuration on the second platform. Cool. Any equestrians about platform 1 before we move on? I'm leaving it on this slide on porpoise. These are good questions.
You were saying we probably won't make that fourth quadrant though.
Yeah, if everything's going right and we have everybody alive, the boss will this ad Artosian or whatever will die. Like as we grip the ads onto it and we're stunning it, it'll probably die before we make it there. Cool. But it's good to know how we're going to handle it just in case we have people dead and we want to limp through it and see the next platform. Which seems to me to be a good segue into the next platform. Okay, so this one did a little bit more quick and dirty because it's very similar, but there are some differences. This, I think, this platform's, I think, is probably going to be the hardest part of the fight for us, other than, putting together a poll of 8 minutes and playing like the entire fight together. But as far as like individual phases, I think this second platform is going to be hard for us for 2 reasons. We cannot push this one early. We need to push this one at a specific time so that it lasts a minute and a half in our minute and a half cooldowns. Come back. That being said, minute and a half people, you saved your cooldowns all of this first platform. So you resend on phase 1, but then if you're minute and a half people, mages, don't send cooldowns on this first platform. You are going to send as soon as we land on this second platform. and you're going to carry the add damage. With warlocks, should carry the add damage on this second platform is the cooldown plan. If you're under a minute and a half, you don't need to listen to me, but anything minute and a half and over, we have your cooldowns planned. So if you have any questions about that, let us know. But yeah, we drag the ad a little bit closer. The boss is over here. And so these are the same grips. Maza on the corner, and then where we're going, halt where we're not going, and war on the close one. No big deal. Okay, so this boss poops on the ground. He drops a circle, and just like you're familiar with in Heroic, is somewhat problematic because it will block the way of where we need to go. We just need to run through it. So that's a bit of a problem. And then he will shoot out 3 orbs. Now, when we get there, you'll notice right here, it says raid stacks just to the left of the ad. This is us baiting the orbs. And it's very important that these orbs go in the correct direction. So everybody needs to be here. In Melee, it's kind of difficult for you because if you just take like a step or two over here, you can actually bait an orb like way off into left field. And that's a no-no. That's like hard banned. So we have to be pretty disciplined about baiting that orb. Once he casts his like circle poop on the ground, then you can move. Then you're free to move because the orb bait has already been completed. You'll see he'll put the poop on the ground, and then you'll see orbs come out. These need to be soaked by individual players, which are assigned as you can see here. And there is a weak aura with a say bubble over your head. So Ziddy would be spamming like left, Yerpal would be spamming middle, and Muck would be spamming right. And you will soak these, and then just move over here with the raid ready to move through after the fragment bait. Those need to be soaked, otherwise we wipe.
If we get there with and one of those 3 is dead, will it reassign automatically?
Yeah, just like all the other weak auras, we have backups assigned, and it'll tell people.
Do those orbs keep
Who's
going?
first
or
string
they
backups for each one?
They
Do we know?
stop at those positions.
I can
Do they need to be there when the orbs get there, or is it gonna like create a pool?
They're slow traveling. Once you soak the orb, it creates the pool once it hits you in the face. I don't know if that answers your question, Vex. Maybe I didn't understand it.
Yeah, it does. Yep. Yeah.
Okay, cool. To your question, Caligon, what do we have? Oh, I thought I had this assigned. Did it not save? It looks like it didn't save. Okay, so yeah, I had players that I just need players that have movement that can, and are heads up players that can do it. I'll redo
There's
it.
one out there that says Yerpal, Swoomy, Ziddy. Isn't that the 3 that we're doing it?
No.
Near the top?
No, it's nope. That's
different.
That's P1 stuff. Yeah, it's not there.
Oh, it's Muck, not your.
It looks like it. I didn't save it. I was an idiot. Okay, so
I think we pull. We can fix that on break if we.
Yeah,
I agree.
I can do it. Okay, so so we'll do that soak, and then we'll go through. And we do need to make it through this puddle. Muck, you'll need to take Abelard through here, and I'll just figure it out. Everybody else will need to use some movement stuff to get through. And then the first one on this platform, the first one on the last platform was a line, but the first one on this one is the corner, so the point or the triangle formation. So yeah, melee here, ranged here, and healers to the left, just like that. And I don't have the individual assignments because those are the exact same as they are here. So that's just how it's done. And then this one's a little bit easier. We can actually pull this guy over here because there's no orbs or lines to deal with. So we can pull this guy over here and then line up with this, and this get pushed back together and fight at Natty. We don't even really need any movement speed, but I think Buckus's Windrush is assigned here. So you're doing, by the way, Banna, every time we move across the first time, you're doing a roar. Every time we go across the first time. So this one and
do I need to take a 1 minute roar then?
this one. They are, let's see here. 316, 455. So they're over a minute and a half apart.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay, so then we will get pushed. So we actually have to do all of the mechanics on this platform So we'll get pushed and we'll reset again. We'll bait the orbs just to the left of the ad, do the grips, and then do another set of orbs, which are assigned thusly. So I have Buckus, Spoomy, and Caligon as primary soakers of this one, the second set on the ads. It makes a cool little paw formation. And then we will have a gate set up for this one because we will need to gate through, and then we do a line formation on this one. So we'll gate through, then do the line. Once again, melee right next to the wall, healers next to them, and then ranged on the point. And that's the end of that. So once we resolve this mechanic, we have like 2 seconds, and then we can push and kill this guy. So it's a very specific kill timing. Kill the guy after the wind's cast starts. If we can get that down, this fight is mostly over. So that's all there is to it on P2. Any additional questions before we get to rolling?
On that platform, that second one, we fight where we land then, right? We don't move to another quadrant like we do in Heroic.
We do actually, yeah, you move just exactly as we do. I think the boss is over here when we land.
Okay.
Yes.
And then it gets dragged over here. So yeah, this on first platform, I believe it basically is where it is because mini boss starts here, I think, and just gets pulled over here. I think.
Yes.
I could be wrong about that. So yeah, it's a little different from first to second platform. Everybody has their orbs assigned, so if you don't have a DM from me from orbs, that will you don't need to worry about it. We may, because we need to push this one at a very specific time, and we don't really want to stop damage, we may peel like an orb or 2 off of the second platform, but we won't know exactly how many or if we need to do that until we get there. So just be aware. Okay, I think we're good to play the game. You guys feel good about that? You guys got a good feel?
Let's play.
Let's play.
So
Let's go.
Thank you for your attention, guys.
2-minute cooldowns are being sent on the first platform, but not the
2
second, right?
2 and 3 minutes, yeah, we'll use on this platform and hold on the second amp. And then second platform is 1.5s, and anybody below 1.5s. And I've heard warlocks, are you like 45 seconds or something? I don't know, with Infernal. Warlocks are also sending on platform 2 is what I've heard.
I'm hitting every platform, right?
Yep, since you're under 1.5 minutes, yeah, you don't need to worry about anything I'm saying. You can send.
You know, let's see these groups right. I'm on the wrong side.
Oh yeah,
I'm not a
let
snowblower.
me set up the
I'm
groups.
a fucking boater.